Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So it's Christmas Day, December 25th. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope people out there are spending it in a way that they can enjoy. Being with family if you're able to, or just watching TV, being blessed that you have a house to be in. You know, I was homeless for a while. It's something I've mentioned in many of my videos. I pulled myself out of it through struggle and through my own discipline and through, you know, my desire to get off the streets, and that's really what it takes. So when I get an opportunity to counsel other young guys that are homeless, I always take up that chance and willingly and gladly will talk to people. And I don't give people money. I'm not a charity organization, and I'm not here to just give you meth money or beer money or whatever, vodka money. I don't give a fuck about your vices or if you're going back to a bush to sleep in after I talk to you. What I like to do is really get a message across and try to see if I can get some motivation, get a little fire burning, you know, because a lot of people's furnace is out, you know, and that's how they end up on the streets. And they just kind of, the light goes out and they check out of society and they just can't survive normally anymore, so they go out into the streets. And I was homeless and I saw this over and over and over again, and sometimes all it takes is just to relight that pilot light. You know, all you need is a couple good days in a row. You'll be surprised of how much you can get done in a little amount of time. Even in business, they have the 80-20 rule, that 20% of your time should be spent on productivity and 80% could be spent on fucking off. And with that 20%, you can still be amazingly successful. Millionaires and billionaires use that. So all you need is a little bit of positive motivation, a little bit of mindset power to be able to move forward, because that's what it is. Your mindset got you there, and your mindset can get you out. I like to see empowerment in other people, especially in young people. It's depressing when I see somebody who's got potential who's just wasting away, like this kid was. And he was smart. He's smarter than I was when I was his age, I could tell. He's more articulate. He was thinking about concepts that I wasn't even thinking about when I was his age. So that's a good sign. Anybody can bounce back. And you don't need a lifetime to do it. You'd be surprised how much can happen for you in a short amount of time if you put yourself out there. You know, there's a flow of energy going on around you. And I had this explained to me one time in business, but it's relatable in a lot of different ways. You can relate it to spirituality, you can relate it to just simple discipline and moving forward with your goals. But I was told that success isn't really that hard because there's a flow of money that's going around, a circle of money being flowed around like in a current. And all you have to do, what your job is as a businessman, is to figure out how to tap in to that flow, right? And that makes it a lot easier in some ways because you don't have to create something from nothing. You're not creating the money, you're tapping in to the money. And it kind of goes the same way with positivity. There's positivity out there. There's positive energy out there waiting for you. But you have to tap into it. If you're laying down hiding from it, it may not reach you. It may not come and find you. It may not come and pull you out of your house or out of your slump. You have to make a move. They talk about this in religion. I'm not a big religious guy, but you know, it's said in the Bible that God helps those who help themselves. And you know, that is profound, because when you notice that you're starting to move forward towards your goals and you're starting to help yourself, that things start happening for you. Your luck gets better, if that's what you want to call it. I don't believe in luck. I believe in fate. I believe in what we do today affects tomorrow, cause and effect. So it's a combination of the two. Sure, there's stuff written in the stars, but that doesn't mean you can't overcome adversity. It doesn't mean you're doomed. I think we're all, in certain ways, blessed from the beginning. And it's our own folly, kind of like Adam and Eve, that sends us to our peril. I don't blame anybody for my drug addiction and being homeless other than myself. I don't shake my fist at the world or at God or at my parents. Or it was my fault. I own up to that shit. I did that. I sent myself there and I got myself out of it. Recognizing there's a problem is the first step to change. One of the things that I try to point out to this kid as I was talking to him today was that he's got problems. Sometimes people don't realize that, and I don't like to bash people, because so what if you've been to prison a few times? So what if you got this problem or that problem? We can all start naming stuff that'll ruin your life. This guy had a whole grab bag full of that shit. You made some wrong choices. You need to own up to it. See that you had a hand in this, and what that does for you, it gives you the ability to erase that veil, that cloud, that illusion that you're living in of ego, and to be able to see clearly and to make some clear decisions and say, yeah, I guess it was my drug addiction, and I was a jerk to my old lady, and I probably could have been nicer, and that's why she kicked me out and whatever, and see some of this shit. Doesn't mean you go crawling back to her. I don't know that relationship. I don't care. It means that in the next one you don't make those same mistakes. It means that you don't punish yourself by being homeless or a drug addict and continually banging up dope over a mistake that you made a year ago or 2 years ago, ruining your future. You know, sometimes people just get stuck in this, I am shit and I am a shitty person and shit just belongs with other shit, and you kind of, and they feel like Oscar the Grouch, like they're just low garbage person. But what I tell people when they're down there like that, feeling like shit, is that shit is good fertilizer. So there's always a silver lining, you know? I mean, mindset is the first step. You can have a couple good days in a row with a positive mindset. Stuff can start happening for you with a positive mindset. You can change your entire life, but you have to want to. You can change your mindset, but you have to want to. Just like you can become wealthy, but you have to tap into the money. Like my friend told me, you have to tap into the flow of wealth. You have to tap into the flow of energy. And that means you have to make a step towards it. Sometimes that means being humble. Most of the time that means being humble. Ego prevents us from being humble sometimes. It fights. We have a fight between what keeps us humble and honest with ourselves to the ego. And the ego is where we start lying to ourselves, making up stories and dialogues and fake personas and living in this fantasy world. Being homeless sucks. It's a personal choice. So I don't blame homeless people for being bad people, but I blame them for being homeless. It's not my fault you went homeless. It wasn't systemic racism that made you homeless. It wasn't the economy that made you homeless. These guys aren't all fucking stockbrokers that lost their money in the market and now they're on the streets begging for money. You know, we did it to ourselves. And if you can do that to yourself, if you can ruin your life, if you can make your life miserable, make your body miserable, make your mind miserable, if you can do that, you have the power to do that. You have the power to change it. It's just up to you. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.